All right, welcome to the Comic Book Shop of Doom. I'm your host. If you're under 13, please get your parents' permission before you watch this video. I try to keep it clean, but I don't need any kind of fine for the COPA Act from YouTube or the government. Okay, this is about the seldom talked about Roger Corman unproduced Spider-Man movie. Okay, this is Fantastic Films from 1983. This was a magazine that used to be published out of Illinois, and it's gone now. Okay, so this was from 1983. Now, here is a really good article here. It's only like about that much pages. And what it says is, I'll read it to you real fast. You won't want Roger to kick around anymore. Roger Corman, who has been taking the rap over the years for the B movies produced by his New World Pictures, is going to get a rest. Recently, for the price of $16.5 million, Roger turned the keys to the studio over to three entertainment lawyers, the facility's new owners, the attorneys Harry Evans Sloan, Lawrence L. Cuppen, and Larry Thompson intend to make no radical changes in New World's operation. In fact, they say we intend keeping what we're buying, which is good management, tapping Corman's expertise in the field. This became evident when films still on the production schedule were unveiled. Deathstalker, a sword and sorcery type film starring Richard Hill and Bobby Benton, is currently being shot in Buenos Aires. Kane of Dark Planet, a mix of sword and sorcery and science fiction genres, is about a planet with almost no water and inhabitants fight for it. Still on the drawing boards are films like Space Raiders, Star Pirates, Spider-Man, and Roger's longtime favorite, World War III. So fans of Corman films have no fear. The words may be different, but the melody remains the same. Okay, what this is about is, before they made the first Spider-Man movie, Columbia made it. It was released in 2002. Everyone talks about Canon had the rights in the 80s to do it. So obviously Canon had the rights after this because Roger Corman had the rights. This was 1983 when he sold his New World Pictures to these three guys. And Lawrence L. Cuppen is still producing Hellraiser movies. Harry Evans Sloan owns a series of companies with a guy that used to run, Jeff Sagansky, used to run CBS. They invest in different media properties. And Larry Thompson was kind of like, he had his own small agency. So they all split up at some point. But Robert Remhe came into the company, and he was kind of like the third partner after Larry Thompson left. So Robert Remhe came in, and he was running it. And he didn't even know that Spider-Man, they owned the rights to it. He thought they bought the rights to Superman. So somewhere in here, after Corman sold the company, they lost the rights to make Spider-Man, and Marvel licensed it to Canon. And then when they found out, they blew a gasket. And then what happened was, when Canon was splitting up in 1989, Menahem Golan, who ran Canon, he split off and he had this side company called 21st Century Film Corporation. And he was going to make a Spider-Man movie. And then this is where it gets all screwed up. He sold the rights around the world. The TV rights went to Viacom. And Columbia was supposed to release the Spider-Man movie that he would produce. But then when he went bankrupt, everybody ended up suing each other over it. And the rumor was Canon lost the rights for a while too because they missed a $200,000 payment to Marvel for the rights. So what would have happened if Spider-Man was made pre-1983 with Roger Corman? Nobody ever talks about this, that he had the rights to make a Spider-Man movie. Space Raiders was made. Star Pirates, I don't know nothing about that one. World War III was never made because that's a perfect title right there. So that there's at least two unmade movies there. But Roger Corman at one point had the rights to do Spider-Man. Who would he have taken? He had James Cameron working for him doing effect shots. And he was talked about doing a movie in the 90s when Carolco tried to get the rights to it. So this is a part of history that nobody ever talks about. is when Corman had the rights to do Spider-Man. Now, granted, they didn't have the computer effects that they do now, so there's a major problem there. But so it would have been like the '78 TV show where they had Nicholas Hammond was swinging around on a wire in New York, and they had like a guy walking up and down the wall, and it was real basic stuff. They couldn't do the flips and all the other stuff that he does in the comics. So this was before CGI, where it wasn't another 10 years before the CGI really took off. 91, 92, 93 with Terminator 2 and then Jurassic Park. But this is like a forgotten piece of history that at one time, Roger Corman, the king of the B movies in Hollywood, he had the rights to Spider-Man. And I would be interested to learn more about that. Like, how did he get them? What did he do? Did he call up Marvel, and what was the deal? You know, like, who did he talk to about buying those rights or whatever, or the deal that they made? So that's probably something we'll never find out, because Roger Corman's still alive. He's in his 90s. So if I ever get the chance to interview him, that's one of the questions I definitely will bring up. Everybody have a good night.